In today's session of Divorce Court, Andre Miller dreamed of love everlasting when he married Alicia, but now he says the marriage is a complete nightmare.
She's a hoe. Once a hoe, always a hoe, Your Honor. She's a hoe, and I figured she had changed. She did not change.
Are you calling your wife a hoe?
Within 30 days, she said I do. She was doing somebody else.
Oh.
When we got married, she was pregnant then.
Now, wait
and I
a
didn't
minute.
find this out till later on.
Oh, no. On the day of the wedding, you were pregnant?
She's loose in the caboose. She's like Free Willy, so whenever she sees one, she wants to get it.
Today, Alicia Campbell tries to defend herself as she squares off with Andre Miller in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Andre Miller versus Alicia Campbell. Mr. Miller, I understand after a year and a half you want to end this marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
That is awfully quick.
Yes,
what happened?
Okay, we got married in June the 12th of '98.
And July,
I left.
With another woman.
That's not true, Your Honor. I left, went back to the military. I was in the field. In the field, we're in the woods. We got dirt on our face. You know, I'm not able to call her and talk to her. Okay, once I get out of the field, I talk to my brother. My brother says, hey, I got something to tell you about your wife. I'm like, well, what's that? He said, I saw her. I'm like, well, where'd you see my wife?
Let him finish telling me.
Yeah, she's real rude. She was over a family friend's house, sitting on their son's lap.
Sitting on the
My
porch.
brother walked up and said, hey, don't I know you? She said, well, no, I don't think so. He said, aren't you married to my little brother?
You mean she didn't even know her brother-in-law?
No, she didn't know her brother-in-law.
She never met your family?
I mean, my family didn't want to meet her. My mother said she was loose in the caboose. My mother doesn't like her. We got married. She cheated a month after I left. To me, I said the marriage, you know, I considered it over, period.
That's when you talked to your brother and he said she was sitting on somebody else's lap.
Right.
No,
but I had heard more stories later, you know, about her being over there with this guy.
How long were you gone?
I was gone maybe a month. This was the next month.
Within 30 days after she said, I do?
Right, within 30 days, she said I do. She was doing somebody else, right.
Your Honor, let me tell you what.
So she didn't
really
say, I do love you. She was just saying, I do be with you while you're here watching me.
Right.
Your Honor, no,
and she'll
let
be
me
doing
tell
somebody
you
else.
what
She'll be married
really
to me,
happened.
but doing somebody else.
June the 12th, okay? He was supposed to come home July the 4th. He went to Mississippi where he was with another woman who he later moved in with. Wait a minute, he said that it was his roommate.
No, Your Honor.
This is the same woman he went to jail for beating up her husband when she caught them in the bed together. How did I find that out? Because I called down there to Texas when he was in the county
Wait a minute, you just said a mouthful. So you're telling me that
all that.
Let me digest this. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Takes me a while to say.
Your Honor.
Wait a minute, I said.
Yes.
Let her digest it, because it's a lot.
Are you telling me that within a month after he said?
I'm telling you within 2 weeks.
So yours is a month and your affair is a month and his is 2 weeks. He's with another woman. The man, the husband of that woman catches him. He beats the man up.
And goes to jail.
went to jail. And that's how you found out.
I found out when he called my house collect and talked.
To get him out of jail?
Wait a minute. After he did all that.
She didn't have any money to
I
get
was
out of jail.
still being loving. He called my house collect. And I accepted the collect call. He called me more than once collect.
From jail?
From jail.
Asking for bail?
Wait a minute.
No,
Wait a minute. I'm finna tell you his exact words. My sergeants won't help me because you know they don't like me. My daddy can't do nothing for me. Could you please call my sergeants to see if they could do anything for me? I do not want to be here. I'm tired of being in jail. I've been locked up for 60 days, Lisa. Please, could you please call my sergeant?
That is not true.
I would not lie to you.
That is not true. I wouldn't call her. She's the last one on earth begging her.
Why did you call me collect? I have phone bills to prove it.
Mr. Miller.
Your Honor.
Wait a minute. The man that's complaining about her sleeping around a month later, 2 weeks?
That's not true, Your Honor. She was like 10 years older than me. I had no sexual interest in her at all. It was a totally platonic.
It was motherly, right?
Well, no, it wasn't motherly. It was just like a totally platonic relationship. You know, it was like a working arrangement.
So why are you having a fight and getting into it with a friend?
No, because the guy disrespected my house, and I really didn't appreciate that.
Your house?
Yeah.
I thought this was at the woman's house.
They was living together.
I said she was my roommate.
Skipped that point.
She was my roommate, Your Honor.
In 2 weeks after you married, you got another roommate?
No, this wasn't even 2 weeks, Your Honor. I stayed in the barracks. I stayed on post at least up until a month after I got married.
But my point is, how you get a roommate after you're married and you have a wife?
She had messed around on me.
No,
I figured the relationship, the marriage was over, Your Honor.
1 month after the wedding, you leaving the marital bliss, going to a platonic relationship.
Your Honor, it was not a sexual relationship. There was nothing going on whatsoever.
So why did you go to this other woman's arms?
No, I didn't go to her arms at all.
Why'd you get a roommate?
Because of my, my financial situation. I was trying to save money.
And there were no men available?
The Army paid
no
for you
men
to have a
available
house.
to
Well,
be.
it's harder having a male roommate, guys.
So, but if you were already married, why didn't you just go back home to your wife?
For what? She was already with somebody else.
No, I was not.
She was already doing somebody else.
You know the Army paid for you your living arrangement. We all know the service, the military.
They used to. I didn't know if they still do.
Your Honor.
Wait a minute. I'm confused.
Mr. Roommate.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I am so confused. Let me see if I can get it straight, because it seems like you all are jumping from point A to point B and all the way over to F.
The thing is.
Hold on a second. I got to get straight.
Okay, Your Honor. I can straighten you up real quick.
You better hurry up.
The thing is, Your Honor, she's a hoe. Once a hoe, always a hoe, Your Honor. She's a hoe, and I figured she had changed. She did not change.
Are you calling your wife a whore?
Once a hoe, always a hoe. Call it like I see it, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, you don't have to keep saying that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right?
Okay.
You made your point.
Okay, thank you.
And I got you. I couldn't have been too much of a hoe.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You were a good one. You got me, right? You were a good one.
All right. That's enough of the name calling. It doesn't get us anywhere.
You're right, Your Honor.
What I'm trying to get to is some understanding of the situation, because you got me confused.
Okay.
A month and a half later, you moved off post.
That's correct.
And you moved off post with this female roommate.
That's correct.
As opposed to going back to town where your wife was to talk to her to see if what you've heard through the grapevine is true. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
So when did you confirm with your wife what was going on?
I called her and she denied it.
He never confirmed.
You did what?
He never confirmed with me.
He's answering my question, Mrs. Campbell.
I called her and she denied it. But there are like 6 people that I know that are very close to my family say, yes, she has been messing around with you-know-who.
When divorce court returns, Andre testifies about the discovery he made on his wedding day.
When we got married, she was pregnant then.
Now, wait a minute.
And I didn't find this out till later on.
Oh, no. On the day of the wedding, you were pregnant?
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Andre Miller, who says he's afraid to turn his back on his wife Alicia for fear she'll be flirting with another man.
So based upon a phone call and your wife's denial, you decide, I'm going to go get me a roommate, move off post, and it's going to be another woman. Is that what you're telling me?
No, Your Honor.
Can I tell you about the guy?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Your Honor, she's money hungry. And, I mean...
But I'm still trying to understand why you didn't go back home, meet your wife face to face, have a conversation with her. The marriage is only a month old. Do you know that your brother could have been lying? It could have been a point of jealousy. People could have been trying to break you up because of any number of reasons. You didn't think enough of the woman you had married a month sooner to just go back to her, face her, and say, look, this is what I hear. What's going on?
No,
Let's
Your
talk.
Honor, I didn't even want to talk to her.
So you just jumped up and found you a roommate?
Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, it was a totally platonic relationship.
I got that point. You said it 3 times. Sound like you're trying to convince yourself, not me.
Oh, no, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Campbell. Now you go on and tell me what you were saying.
Can I tell you? Okay, the guy was a friend. We were sitting on the front porch in separate chairs.
So yours is purely platonic too?
No,
That's
I
what
was
you told
sitting
me.
on the front porch. His brother saw me sitting
That's what I
on the
just
front
said.
porch.
So you told him that this was your friend and it was purely platonic as well.
It's like going over a neighbor's house. I can't sit on the front porch.
Your
That's
Honor.
what I just said, Miss Campbell.
Your
It's
Honor.
all honest. Then
Your
you found out about your husband
It's not-
with another man.
It's
woman.
not like going to a
found out
neighbor's
about
house.
that
Mr. Miller, you found out about it first.
I found out about him.
Well,
and the
according
woman
to
first.
him, it was a month and a half later. Obviously, you don't know how to tell time. One of you don't know one day from the other. So, point is, you
But
found
I was-
out about him and
I was
another woman.
sitting on the-
What's the next point you want to tell me?
While I was down in the military, after we had this situation, it was up in the air, everything, I found out everything. She was calling my commander, saying that I need to send her money. I need to send her, you know, my baby is starving. She's about to get evicted.
What baby? How'd you have a baby in a month?
I didn't have a baby with her. It was my best friend's kid.
Okay, well, you married me. You married my daughter.
It was my best. I'm not talking to you.
Mrs. Campbell, when he married you, he didn't marry your daughter.
He did.
No,
He gonna marry me and don't agree to take on this responsibility.
He did not.
That is the man.
He did not marry your.
She became his stepdaughter.
Mrs. Campbell, he didn't marry your daughter. He married you. Now, if you're
And
trying to say that he
comes
accepted the
along with it.
responsibility of taking care of you and your daughter, that's one thing. But he didn't marry your daughter.
Well, he accepted that responsibility.
At least you thought he did anyway. Go, move on.
Now, she was calling my commander, telling him that my kid is starving. She's about to get evicted. She's living with her mother. She used a Red Cross. That is something you only use if somebody in your family's died or it's a dire emergency.
Okay, so then what happened?
My commander told me, he said, tell her to stop calling. And I'm like, I'll tell her to stop calling, because she was just calling him and bugging.
He didn't even like, his commander didn't even like him.
Well, what's the point? What are you trying to tell me? Why are you telling me this?
Your Honor, she's brought me here because she wants something from me, and I feel that she doesn't deserve it.
What do you want from her?
I didn't bring him
what
here.
Do you want from
brought me here.
Now that you're both here, what do you want from me?
She wants.
I want. He got for him being married to me and my daughter. He got $400.
He wasn't married to your daughter.
Well, for him being married to me and me having that child, he got $439 extra a month.
Per month.
Per month.
How long was he in the military?
For 6 months. He got this money for me. Okay? That equals up to $2,634.
All right.
I feel like he owed me this money because when I did get a job and I had to take my daughter to daycare, because just because my mother is at home, she is not an all-day daycare. Just because when I tried to get some help from the state to pay for, for her to go to daycare and stuff, I couldn't. Why I could not? Because I was married to a man in the service. And they was giving him money for that.
Did you keep getting that extra money?
Your Honor, the extra money, the money does not say on the bottom of my LES WIC.
Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Let me see the military statement.
Your Honor, listen.
That's how much he got extra for having dependents.
It doesn't say women with independent children. It says BAQ, which is basic. No.
Married men with dependents.
Let me understand the fact.
Your Honor, it says BAQ is basic allowance for quarters. That means that if a soldier is married, he cannot live on post. They gave you that money to live off post. It's not like I got a whole lot of money.
Why did you need a roommate?
I'm not talking to you. It's not like the money was for me to gain anything. I didn't get any jewelry. I didn't have any extravagant cars.
Well, you know what
anything
it
like
says? I disagree with you because it says pay grades with dependents rates. Dependents mean spouse, children, or both. Dependents.
Right.
All right, so you got this grade because you had a dependent.
No. The BAQ was for me to live off post because I was married. Yeah, if you married automatically, that's a dependent, a wife or what have
Selected
you.
military housing by pay grades with dependents rates. That's what this chart is.
Okay.
I understand those words really well.
Okay.
I also understand, and you can try to convince me otherwise, but I know better, that the military does give you an additional allotment if you're married and if you have a child. You got a basic pay rate if you're a single man, you get another rate if you're married, and you get another one if you're married with children.
Okay.
Tell me I'm lying.
No, you're not lying.
All right, then.
You're not lying.
Let's hear it. So now, when you were getting that additional rate, did you continue to get it because you were married?
Because I was married, yes.
Did you give her any of it?
No, I didn't. That money was going to continue to come up until I got a divorce. Whether it's separated or not, that money was going to continue to come.
You stay married until you get out of the military, because as long as the military knows that you're married, you get the additional money, and you keep getting it until you get out. But although the marriage is over, according to you, 1 month later, you don't bother to stop this pay.
Your Honor, you can't just go stop the pay. And I didn't stay married for the sake of the money. I had a house. I mean, I had I had a car. I wasn't really wanting for anything, so I didn't stay married to that for the sake of the money.
He stayed married
Why'd you say?
$400 is something I could do without. I mean, not to be bothered with her. I don't need it. You see what I'm saying? That was something.
So then why didn't you give it to her?
Why didn't I give it to her? Because she didn't need. She was sleeping with somebody else. She could have got it from the man she was home with.
Else, and he doesn't have proof I was sleeping with nobody else, but you was
She was pregnant, Your Honor. When we got married, she was pregnant then.
Now, wait a minute.
And I didn't find this out till later on.
No.
I didn't find this out till after we got married.
When he came back and proposed to me.
Hold on.
Your Honor.
Mrs. Campbell, on the day of the wedding, you were pregnant?
Yes, and I didn't know this until after we got married, Your Honor.
You were pregnant?
Let me tell you this. I did not know I was pregnant.
Oh, you didn't know either.
When he came back and proposed to me, Your Honor, me and him was not going together.
I understand that.
Okay, he popped up out the blue, and when he came there that day, I told Andre, well, I have a friend. that I was calling my man at the time. You see
That
what
wasn't
I'm
my
saying?
question. When you
I didn't know
asked,
I was pregnant. I got sick. Okay? I got sick and went to the hospital. And immediately, I called him from the emergency room. I called him and I said, well, Andre, look, the doctor just told me that I was pregnant. He said that I was weekly positive. The next day, I had a miscarriage, which says that I was pregnant in my tubes, so they had to take the baby, which tells you I was no more than 8 weeks. So I did not know. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know I was pregnant. I
That's
wouldn't
what
have
she
married
said,
him when
Your
I
Honor.
was.
She
if
knew.
I was in 8
well, wait a
weeks,
minute.
I wasn't.
It doesn't matter. Did she tell you?
No, she did not
I
tell
called
me.
him from the emergency
Did
room
she
and
call you
told
from
him.
the
She
emergency
called
room?
me. She didn't call me from the emergency room.
I
and tell me.
did call you. I called you on the three-way.
No,
Stop.
Your Honor.
Did you at some point find out she was in the hospital?
I found out that she had got sick and went to the hospital and she was pregnant.
And did you
Yeah.
find out before you married her?
No, I
This
did
was
not
after
know.
we got married. This
No, I
was
did
when
not
I
know.
found out. I called him from the emergency room. And want me to tell you how I could tell you? I know I called him.
Did you know she had
because
another man?
I didn't.
No, I didn't know she
You
was
know
like.
I had another
I mean,
man.
she's loose in the caboose. She's like Free Willy, so whenever she see one, she wants to get it.
But you know what? He didn't tell you I was sleeping with everybody but him. Tell that.
Yeah, we slept together, Your Honor, one time.
One time.
All
And not
right,
even
but
when you
the
was my
point is,
boyfriend, you wasn't good enough.
Mrs.
So I wasn't
Campbell.
too loose. Well, so why did you marry me? Because I wasn't that loose. I didn't sleep with
Miss
your
Campbell,
ass.
we already figured out. Yo, what? You better watch your mouth.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Cecilia Rainey versus Kevin Rainey.
Kevin has fathered 4 children by 3 other women during the marriage.
You thought it meant that you could still have all the women you wanted?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back in the case of Andre Miller, who says on his wedding day he found out his wife Alicia was pregnant with another man's baby.
Now, what about the money? You want the money back?
I want the money back because
And
he got it
but
from
he
me.
just told me the $400, he'll give up anything to get rid of you.
Your Honor, no. How could she be entitled to that money? I mean, she doesn't deserve
Because
that
they
money.
gave it to you
She
for
was
me.
sleeping with someone else. That money was for me if I had a family to live off post. That money did not say they did not say I had to give that money to my wife.
The commander said you didn't have to send her that money. The Army said you didn't have to send her that money. But unfortunately, you brought the case to me. I'm not bound by any of their statements. And guess what I say? I say you give it all to her. Whatever share she gets as a dependent, you go back to your base rate. Now, what was your base rate if you didn't have a dependent?
About $1,100
All right. $1,100 what, per month?
per month.
The $439 was additional, right?
That's right.
So pay it to her. She's worth it. That's what you said. Now, that's what I say. They didn't tell you. I just told you. $439 a month for each month you received it. $2,634 per month total right now. Mrs. Campbell gets it. Court's adjourned.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Cecilia Rainey versus Kevin Rainey.
He gave me $1,500 to marry her, to get her up out of her parents' house.
Yeah, I've been around a long time, but this one is real new.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Cecilia Rainey said she wanted to end her 9-year marriage to Kevin because he was a playboy instead of a husband.
Kevin has fathered 4 children by 3 other women during the marriage.
You thought it meant that you could still have all the women you wanted?
Yes.
Oh,
Because
come on.
he gave me $1,500 to marry her, to get her up out of her parents' house.
Yeah, I've been around a long time, but this one is real new.
She know I'm a ladies' man.
Lime green suit and purple, as pretty as it is. Not too many men wear that. Those are my colors.
Who would want to be around me?
Cecilia said she owed over $1,000 in tuition for their daughter's private school because Kevin refused to help her pay for it. The judge ordered Kevin to pay the back tuition and give Cecilia $100 per month for their daughter's education. Kevin says he is now busy spending more time with his daughter and training for his first fight as a professional boxer. Cecilia says she has moved on with her life and is planning to marry her new fiancé in the summer.
I love this judge. I got what I wanted.
Oh, no, I don't think me being in the military is partly, because we broke up. I think we broke up because she was a hoe. Pretty much, she was a hoe.
Well, I thought I was in love with him, but, things happen, people change.
I don't need to be a part of the kid's life because that's my best friend's kid. He can do it.